Hello, welcome to another Speech with Susan. I'm Susan Scoggins. I am a speech pathologist with Houston Area Parkinson's Society, and this is another class, about 15 minutes, and we're working on voice, breath support, swallowing, and we do a little extra cognitive exercises at the end. All right, let's get started. First thing we do is we sustain an ah sound and hold it for about 20 seconds. If you can do it longer, that's great, but I'm gonna do it for 20 seconds, and then I'd like for you to stop the video and practice it about 4 or 5 more times, okay? Let's get started. Taking a big deep breath, here we go. Great. Pause the video and let's do it about 5 more times, sustaining an ah sound. That's a good breath support. You're letting out only so much air, holding and extending it as long as you possibly can, and it's a good exercise to do every day. Welcome back. If you stopped and paused it, great. Let's do the next exercise. This one is a high-pitched E, and we hold it for 3 to 5 seconds. And what we're doing is we're pulling the larynx up, and we're using those muscles that hold that larynx up, kind of like putting a weight in your arm and doing reps. Well, here we're just kind of holding it, and so we want to keep those muscles, the superior laryngeal muscles, the extrinsic superior laryngeal muscles. We want to keep them strong because they're used for swallowing, because your larynx goes up when you swallow. And then they're also, of course, for the change in your voice when your pitch goes up if you're asking a question, and the intonations that you have in your normal speech. And we want to make sure we keep that. Very important. Parkinson's sometimes becomes monotone as it progresses, or almost 100% of the time as it progresses, the speech will get monotone, it'll get softer, and that's why we do breath support exercises, strengthening the voice, and then also keeping the inflections that are normally in our conversational speech. So we're gonna do this one right after another for about 5 times, and we're gonna hold it for 3 to 5 seconds. So here we go. Again. 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 One more time. Good. And if you'd like, you can pause the video and do that about 5 more times. Next on the list that we're always doing in my speech class is the Masako. The Masako is a swallowing exercise. And this kind of takes off from the high-pitched E sound, because when you swallow, your neck goes up. And so with this in mind, the larynx is being pulled up by this superior laryngeal muscles, and what happens is when it pulls up, there's a flap, and it's called your epiglottis, that covers your airway. That's always open. And when you go through into a swallow, it kind of opens up the upper esophageal sphincter, which is always closed. The esophagus is always closed, opens up, and then the food and liquid. And it's kind of like a pneumatic system in that when this opens up, it opens, this negative pressure here is pulling in the bolus or the food or liquid that you have in the back of your throat that you're about to swallow. So with this one, you're sticking your tongue out, anchoring it with your teeth and your lips, and then doing a swallow. Not easy to do because your tongue always goes back to meet the posterior pharyngeal wall. And in this exercise, the tongue is going forward. That wall, that muscle, posterior pharyngeal muscle, has to move forward to meet the back of the tongue. And so what we're trying to do with this one is when you're swallowing, your tongue is further away from the posterior pharyngeal wall, and that wall is working a little bit harder. So it'll look like this. And if you can do that about 5 times, you may have to stop the video. And sometimes it's difficult to do a dry swallow. So you just take a sip of water, do a normal swallow, then you have some residuals in your mouth that you can do again. All right, so stop the video and try and do it about 5 times. Welcome back. And the next one that we do of a swallowing exercise is called the Mendelssohn. And this one is where you are doing a normal swallow, but you stop in the middle of the swallow and you're holding your breath. Now this one is where that epiglottis flips over. It flips over every time you swallow. But once we flip it over, we're holding it there because we're holding our breath. And that larynx is going up, and it tilts a little bit forward, flipping that epiglottis over, opening up the esophagus when you finish the swallow. And so with this one, I'll do it. You can kind of see a strain on my face where I am holding my breath. So I'm stopping in the middle. I'm stopping at the highest position that the larynx goes when you're doing a swallow. So here we go. And then I release. I'm holding it for about 3 to 5 seconds. That epiglottis is flipped over that airway. I can't breathe. And then once I release, you're exhaling because you've got that pressure under here. You're exhaling and the air comes out. So stop the video and do that about 5 times. It's not easy to do, but it is a very good exercise. Okay, welcome back. Next exercise, I'm going to explain to you the purpose of it and the reason why we do it, but we're not going to do it because it takes a little bit of time. But I have everybody pucker their lips like a kiss, and I tell them to hold it for 60 seconds. Now, during that 60 seconds, there starts to be a release of tension. So the last 10 seconds of the pucker, the kiss, I say pull tighter. And what we're doing here is we're contracting the orbicularis oris muscle, contracting it tightly, stretching the buccinator muscles. And then after 60 seconds, I say switch to a smile. Have to have the lips closed because it doesn't work. And I'll tell you why, the purpose of the lips being sealed. And you're holding this for 60 seconds, but the sensation on the lips, you can feel the muscles that have been contracted stretching, and of course the buccinator muscles are contracting, they're antagonistic. Now the purpose of keeping the lips sealed is we want to continue to maintain monitoring the production of saliva. If you've ever had anyone in past decades that you've known that had Parkinson's, a lot of times they have that drooling. And what happens is we produce a lot of saliva throughout the day, but cognitively, subconsciously I should say, we are monitoring the saliva and we're swallowing 1,000 or so times a day, not letting the saliva build up and spill out of our mouth. As Parkinson's progresses, it's difficult to maintain that monitoring of the saliva and the number of swallows. We swallow about 1,000 times a day, and it's a lot less. So Parkinson's pulls in the mouth because you're not swallowing as much, and your head is tilted a little bit forward, so gravity's just pulling the saliva out of the mouth. So we want to be sure and we maintain a labial seal. So you're holding that for 60 seconds. And then the last 10 seconds, you're pulling tighter. So it was a lot of explanation, but for this exercise, go ahead and stop the video and do that. A pucker for 60 and then a smile for 60 seconds. Wonderful. I'm sure you did it. All right, let's do the exercises. So we've worked on muscles that are deep inside the neck, and now we want to do the supportive muscles. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn our chin to each side of the shoulder, one to shoulder, the other one to the shoulder, then the ear to the shoulder. And the reason why we're doing that is we're working the muscles that are supportive and that are the larger muscles for swallowing. So we're going to turn chin to the right shoulder, drop that left shoulder, and we're going to hold. I knew that was going to happen. That was my dryer. Chin to the left shoulder and drop your right. Okay. Feel the sensation when you drop your right ear to your right shoulder, pull this left shoulder back, and chin at 2 o'clock position so that you feel a stretch from the chin all the way down the neck and to the shoulder. Okay, let's do the left ear to left shoulder. Drop your right, pull it back, chin to that 10 o'clock position. And last one is just chin to chest. And we want to feel that stretch on back of the neck on both sides of the cervical spine. Great. Last thing on the list is, again, another breath support exercise. And this one is inhaling through the nose for a count of 8, exhaling through the nose for a count, inhaling through the nose for a count of 3, and exhaling through the nose for a count of 8. Very important to just do it with the nose, not the mouth. So inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Great. Now, last little thing that we do is a bit of a cognitive exercise. Sometimes they're difficult in class and sometimes they are pretty easy. This one might take a little bit of time because it's called name merge. So I'm going to give you I'll give you 2 clues, and it's of people. The first person's name, their first name, their last name, which is the first name of the second clue. So, for instance, if I said she prosecuted O.J. Simpson and Superman's more than human alter ego, Marcia Clark Kent. Okay, we'll get about as many as we can done. But so again, the person's first name is completely different, but they share a last name, first name of the second clue. Okay, here we go. This was a star of Make Room for Daddy and the inventor of the light bulb. If you said Danny Thomas Edison, that would have been correct. So Danny Thomas and Thomas Edison. This comic insisted that he was 39 years old for about 40 years. And this is the band leader dubbed the King of Swing. If you said Jack Benny Goodwin, that would have been correct. Jack Benny Goodwin. Okay, Colonel Captain, whose name is synonymous with the word traitor, and actor and former governor of California. I bet you said Benedict Arnold Schwarzenegger. All right, rugged actor nicknamed the Duke. Pretty easy on that one. And legendary hockey player nicknamed the Great One. John Wayne Gretzky. This is the British star of My Fair Lady and Dr. Dolittle. And this is also an American actor who played Indiana Jones. Rex Harrison Ford. A singer-songwriter famous for blowing in the wind and the times they are a-changin'. And this is also a Welsh author of A Child's Christmas in Wales. Now that might be a little hard, but Bob Dylan Thomas. So Dylan Thomas was the Welsh author. Okay, here we go. Star of Rebel Without a Cause, who died in a car crash at age 24. And a hard drinking partner of Jerry Lewis. I bet you said James Dean Martin. Okay, here we go. Popular singer of You Give Me Fever and Is That All There Is? And the assassin of John F. Kennedy. I bet you said Peggy Lee Harvey Oswald. Let's do, okay, one more. Blind singer of Hit the Road, Jack, and Georgia on My Mind, and the 19th century English naturalist who proposed the theory of evolution. Ray Charles Darwin. Great, that's wonderful. Okay, I'm here in Costa Rica doing this YouTube video. It comes from HAPS, Houston Area and Parkinson's Society. Be sure and look up Houston Area Parkinson's Society, hapsonline.org, and I think they've even dropped that. But just Google Houston Area Parkinson's Society. They've got great classes, a lot of speech classes, a lot of physical therapy classes, Tai Chi, yoga, a lot of good things, and very good support, caregiver support, and a lot of activities in the Houston area. I'll see you again on the next YouTube video of Speech with Susan. Take care.